Okay, guys, shall we start the webinar? Good morning, this is Merlin from Credo Systems. Very happy to welcome you all for today's webinar. So, for today's session, as you all know, our trainer, Mr. Ganesh, handling an exclusive Microsoft Power Apps webinar. So, I request everyone to pay attention throughout the session. In the last 15 minutes, you all have the dedicated QA session for clarifying your doubts. So, please stay connected throughout the session to get the participation certificate. And without any further delay, hand over the session to Mr. Ganesh. Thank you.
Hello all, this is Ganeshan. Years of experience in SharePoint, Power Apps, and Power Platform environment and Azure. We will go through the session now. I'll share my screen. This is one of the Microsoft presentation. Power Apps is a Microsoft product, as you all know. There are different types of Power Platform application that can be created. One is Power BI that is used for creating the business analytics, that you can create dashboards, you can create business intelligence data analysis, you can create reports, in Excel, PDF, whatever the format you want. It's Power BI is a kind of a cloud platform even that we can say that it is an advanced of SSRS, those kind of reporting things, where we can interact with all the data sources. Power BI, it can interact with Oracle, SQL, and Excel, Access, SharePoint, even Notepad, whatever it is. That's the advantage of Power BI. Power Apps is an application development. We can develop mobile apps, then normal web app, then can be a tablet, whatever the application that we can develop in Power Apps. The main advantage of Power Apps is that we can do it in no code solution. You don't have to code anything. You just have to configure. You have to just write some syntax and make that application. It is similar like Excel macros. How you have to write some Excel formulas and then do some application in Excel macros. Like that, Power Apps will allow you to do some application. It can connect to a lot of databases. In that, Microsoft Dataverse is one database, and it can connect to Oracle, DB2, SQL. There are a lot of connections that can be made with the Power Apps. Power Apps is a cloud-based application. You don't have to install anything. I will show you that on the cloud, how it works. And there will be data connectors. Data connectors is that which will serve as a connection to the database. We have to configure the connection strings, all those things. And through that, we can connect to that database or the API. And AI Builder, as nowadays AI is more familiar, that AI can be integrated with the Power Apps. And we can do a lot of AI and RPA operation with the Power Apps and Power Automate. And regarding the Power Automate, it is a kind of a flow chart kind of thing, where you can do all the actions like emailing or kind of flowchart kind of operation, like export, import, whatever it is, that it can act standalone and do an automation for you. Power Virtual Agent, the last one, is a kind of a chatbot that we can create automatic chatbot over here. We just have to configure what we have to reply, those kind of things. That virtual agent will take care of the automatic chatbot in Teams, wherever it is, that you can configure through Power Virtual Agent. So as I said before that Power Apps can be used to build apps in mobile and web. You can see the sizes over here that you can create these many sizes, this for mobile, tablet, and also on web. It will be adaptive that you don't have to configure anything. Once you create the application will be default available for all these devices. So Microsoft, in order to overcome that iOS and Android kind of application, they were doing a Windows kind of application before, but it was not familiar that as we all know. So they come on to the Power Apps. Power Apps is that if you install Power Apps on your mobile, then you can see any applications that are in Power Apps. You should have an permission for your ID, and then you can see what are the application or documents within the Power Apps environment. It can work in Android, iOS, all those devices. So what are the types of Power Apps that can be created is Canvas, model driven, and portal. Canvas is that kind of a web application where you can have mobile and also the tablet kind of thing. So model driven is that it will interact with the dataverse. It has an inbuilt database. That database can be interacted over here. Portal is an external portal. For example, if we want to do an external website like for example, we take it as Microsoft.com, MSDN.com, Yahoo.com, like that, which will be a public facing portal that you can do in portals. Canvas apps. So these apps are like the general application. If you already have a background in software, so it will be just like the forms or the controls that are created, and we'll be creating a backend. The backend can be, as I said before, the backend can be either Oracle, or it can be yeah, SQL Server, or it can be an web API. It can be a middle layer, or it can be an DB2, MySQL, or it can be an Azure API, whatever it is. But it have an front end and it have an back end. So front end will be our Power Apps, and back end will be an any database. Okay, that we can connect over here, and we can create forms, and this can be used on any devices. Once it is created, it can be used on any devices. So what are the connectors over here that we can see that we can connect to this image is not much clarity, but you can see the image icon. We can connect to Outlook. We can connect to Teams. We can connect to OneDrive. We can connect to some other icons which I know is OneNote. We can connect to Power BI. So all these things are like there are a lot of connectors which Microsoft is providing. We can connect to that database and get the data over here. I will take you to the cloud screen, real Power App screen, so that I will get some idea. So Power App is a part of Microsoft Office 365. Okay, if you go over here, that you can see that Outlook. Everyone in our organization have an Outlook and OneDrive. Apart from that, we'll be having these things. Okay, in this you will be having a Power Apps. Okay, Power Apps, Power Automate. If you click on this, we'll go to the Power Apps. So over here, you can see all the list of apps available. These are some demo apps which I have created before. If you want to create a new app, you have to click on start, click on new app and start with data, something like that. Okay. I'm going to create a blank app. If you want Dataverse as the backend, then you have to click create over here. This will be a model driven app. This will be an portal or Power Pages or website, as I said before. I'm going to create a Canvas app. So you can set the default size even, like it can be for tablet, it can be for phone. So it will be a cloud based platform. We can create whatever we want here. We'll start with an hello world. This play button is to run this application. If you run this, you'll get a play. So this is the actual one. You can install this in mobile. Once you build this and put it in the app store, like you can have this app in your mobile even, mobile or tablet. So there'll be a lot of options here. So see here, fonts, whatever you want, display. You can create a form even. Yeah, do you have any questions? If you're raising hand, I hope you can unmute.
Yes. See, generally for a web app development, right? So generally there will be a master page, and then with the master page there will be other subsequent connection pages would be there. So how it will work in Power App? No, we just need to create a master template first, or we can start directly creating the user related pages. What would be the
Uh,
connection factor or the maintain the uniformity?
yeah, we'll be doing something components. Okay. If you create a new component here, that can be used across the pages. For example, if I have something like here, Credo Systems, this component can be used across the pages. If you go onto the screens, I can use this component.
Okay, got
So
it.
that can be header or wherever it is. Okay. We can put that component, it can be used across all the screens. Okay. So similarly, like we can design the forms like this. Okay. It will be just like a drag and drop. We don't have to do much thing over here. So if I put a button, I can write formulas over here. That I'm not going to write something save like that. Okay, it will take some time. So I'll put a notification. So this can be notification type dot success. Okay, so I'll say this up. So I'll get a poster like this. Okay. So in between this, that you have to write some code, like there'll be comments like that, like patch, something like that. Okay. Which will take you to save this data to the database. Okay. For example, if we are having a list as a database. Okay. So I will create a list over here. I'll make it as this list. So I'm going to add this data source here. So I get this test list here. I will save it here. Match off. There'll be some syntax that you either have to remember or you can copy it from Microsoft, whatever it is, but we should know that syntax. Just how we do on some other applications, like you have to give the text box value to the column. So if you see here that we made a patch command that to which data source we are going to save, that's a test list. Okay. And we are giving one column only that we are going to save that control value to that column. And finally, we are making it as making a notification. Save this one. If we make publish, then it will be visible to all users. Once you publish and make an app URL or make it on App Store like that, then it will be available on App Store on Microsoft Store that anyone can take that from the App Store if we make it public and they can make use of it. Okay, so you see that we saved it now. It should come here. Okay, you can see it. Okay, like this, you can build an application. This is a sample to show that how it works. It can have different settings, display settings. Like we can make the sizes over here. We can make it landscape, portrait. Like we can make it as for the mobile, whatever it is. If it is on the like this size, the default size will be like the portrait mobile size. So it will not take even an hour to build and deploy an app to App Store that can be on mobile, that can be used in mobile. Okay, that's how that Microsoft has built that app platform easy for users. There'll be different settings over here. Like normally that if it is on landscape tablet itself, it will be fit to the size for mobile. So that's the option that it shows that scale to fit. Lock orientation is that if we turn that mobile, that it will not turn on the landscape on the vertical mode, like whatever we want, we can set here. There'll be some upcoming features on this. We can set the icon for this app. if we are going to set something like test app like that, we can set like this, set like that over here. We can publish the app here. So if you click on this, you'll get an option to publish. Once you publish, you will get an URL. That URL, that URL you can use as an publishing URL. You don't have to come into the app every time. You can give this URL to the testing team or whoever it is. They can test the published URL. Okay. And App Store, you know that there will be a Microsoft App Store that you have to take the build from here. That those things you'll be learning in slowly. Okay. But the thing is that you can take a build. It will be a package kind of build. That build you have to put it in the App Store. That just like how the Android Play Store shows some apps, like our app will also be showing over there. Okay, on the Power Apps App Store, that you can install and make use of it. This is the data source. You can see that this data I am taking it from the SharePoint. So this is a kind of a list. Whatever it is, at the end of the day, it is a kind of a database which can store data. So over here you can save some media or images that you can use within our apps. This is a Power Automate where you can connect some Power Automate, something like that. These are variables. There are a lot of settings over here. So okay, so as you asked for that, okay, it should be. This is a component. Okay, we have created over here. Like whatever we change, we make over here. So we'll change something. Okay. If you go to screens, that will be showing. Okay. We cannot minimize this size over here. For that, you have to minimize on the component. For example, if we are creating new screen, a blank screen, we can insert the same component here. This will act like a kind of a master page where you can reuse across the pages. Okay, so for example, if I go here, I change something color like that. Color dot LS blue. So we'll make it blue. Okay. So if you go over here, like you can see that blue, it has been changed on both the pages. Okay. These are very simple things that it has been built on the same foundation how that other applications work, except that it has some toolbox over here and it's a cloud based and it has some features. Okay. So we can run this application here. So yeah, if you have any question, you can unmute and ask me now.
Yeah, a couple of questions, Mr. Ganesh. So, see, normally for the web pages, right, we used to have a CSS for the web page designing, and for JavaScript for the conditional fields. So what will substitute here? In terms of CSS, what is the designing uh, palette that we have in a Power App to design the page? And for to replace the JavaScript, what are the conditional fields that we can able to set? Like if it is a mandatory field, or if it is something, if it is the email address, to validate it is typed properly the email address. So in such cases, replacing the JavaScript, what exactly that we need to supposed to do in the Power App? And then the third question is how to display the data from the database to the Power App, because now you're pushing the data to the database, but how we retrieve the data from the database to the Power App for displaying it.
Yeah, I will show you that. Okay. So I will show you that in the later part. Okay. So regarding that CSS like that, we should have that properties kind of thing. Okay. This is just like how you are working with the Excel like that. Okay. Like there'll be property or align all those things. Okay. If you want to build a common CSS or common property, okay, that you should have an common variable. There will be variable kind of things like that we having align dot left, and that should be used across the pages. I mean, it's that across the screens. Okay. So that if we are changing only on the CSS, then everything will get left aligned. That we don't have to change on individual text boxes. Okay, that should be on variable, and it should be taken in a common place. It can be on the app start even. There'll be a on start over here. Over here, we have to declare those variables. What are the CSS, or what are the font size? What are the font color? What are the font uh what can I say for what are the fonts that we are going to use, whether it is Arial or Verdana, like that. Everything we have to specify on the on start, and then we have to use across the pages. Okay. That is on the style sheet. And another question is that what so the question, yeah, JavaScript, right? Like the replacement for JavaScript is that you have to write a syntax like this. You have to just imagine like the Excel macros, how you are writing some, even on the Excel macros, that you can create forms or screens, right? Like that, you have to imagine that over here you have to write the syntax. It will be like, for example, if it is empty, okay, it's gone. So blank of comma. We have to give a notification over here. There'll be a syntax for if that we have to follow. Over here, I'm going to give a name mandatory. Like this, you can give a mandatory. How is that you do on web application? All the things that you can do here. Like if you want to give the errors below, then we have to design a panel like that below, and we can show all the errors, just like how the custom error shows on .NET. Like that, you can show. We can show as a field validator even. You can show as a regular expression, that you can check the email ID, like that expression kind of thing in the formulas, and then you can show the notification, or you can show the kind of mandatory fields over here. Whatever it is that you can do over here, it will have a replacement here. Okay, so regarding how you can show the data, that I'll create a new screen. There'll be controls for that. We have gallery or a table like that. So we go for data table. It'll ask for the data source. I'm going to give this data source. Showing some error. I don't want that attachment code. So you can see the data over here. Okay, just have to connect the data and show it on a data table. There are different components or the different controls over here, like just like the ASP.NET that will be having controls. We should know that how you can bind that controls with the data. So, and over here, this is a data source. This is if you are comparatively looking on, this is a kind of a EDMX kind of thing, like where we are taking a data source over here and keeping it as a data source locally. So this can be any data source. For example, if you click here, it can be a table on the local environment. It can be a database. It can be an Oracle. It can be an SQL. It can be MySQL. It can be PostgreSQL. It can be whatever database. We are not aware of this database even, but even that can be used over here, like Azure database for MySQL, whatever it is. Okay, like there'll be a lot of connections which Microsoft has built for the Power Apps that we can make use of it as a connector. Once we have that data source locally, then we can play with the data and set on the. We can use multiple data source even, and that can be interacted within the screens. Okay, so we are going back to the PowerPoint slide. So these are something connectors that we have seen right now, like OneDrive, that this some icon like that. Okay, there'll be a lot of connectors. Okay, OneDrive, then OneNote. Okay, even there are some pages on the OneNote that can also be retrieved over here using conditions, and we can show over here. It can connect to the on-premises even. It can connect to the cloud databases even, cloud SQL. It can even connect to the on-premise, that if it is there on some servers, we can that also can be connected using an using an gateway. There are 600 plus connectors, and we have some license connectors here. That connectors that we have to get some specific license. That's what it's mentioned on the last. So anatomy of Canvas app. So it can support on any platform. We can add document. We can connect with numerous data sources. It will be a kind of easy UI kind of design. The logic will be just like formulas that we have to write on the kind of Excel formulas that they can write on the text box or drop down or on the button. So Canvas app flavors is that it can be a standalone. It can be with list forms. Okay, like we were connecting with the SharePoint. It can be with the SharePoint list forms. So it can be with the Dataverse. It can be with Power BI. Even if we are making some Power BI dashboard into some other data sources like that, that we can integrate over here and we can show it on a Power App screen. So it can connect with these other data sources like other application. It can be with SharePoint, it can be with Power BI. Even on the Microsoft Teams, you can give Canvas app. So Microsoft Search ribbon app. There are a lot of other options where we can show this Canvas app. So it is a low code solution, that it will not be a kind of complete coding as how we do it on .NET and Java. So and it has a 600 plus data sources that we can connect to. It has a standard licensing model. Okay, the license is also comparatively cheap that when we compare to the .NET how we are making development. Yeah, we have seen a demo. I'll show you some other things which are available on the tenant. We can see the details over here. If you see the details, you can get the published URL. This URL can be directly used. If you use that published URL, that the tester can directly test this application over here. You don't have to go on to the code. This is an example where a kind of a Kanban board, you know, that in Agile, I think so, that which can be used for tracking, a kind of a dashboard. We can store the task over here. Initially, it will be not started. Then we have to change it in progress. It's a kind of a Azure DevOps board where you can manage the task. So this is a different style. This is completely created on Power Apps. Okay, I will show you the design. So if we click over here, it will goes to the next one. It means that it has been moved from the behind to the block, then to the completed state. Wherever we want that we can play this task board. There will be different styles over here. This has been taken from the App Store only. Like that, if we go on the App Store, that we can see a lot of samples over there that we can look on that. So if we want to filter something, create Power Apps. So it will be showing only the Power App where it is. Okay. As we have less items now, but there's no need for filter. But they are. But if there are a lot of items, this filter will be useful. These are different styles. Okay. You can go to not started. You can go over here. Go here. Okay. I think that's what on this demo. Okay. We can open this and see it. For example, if you go here. You can design these kind of power apps. Okay. On real time. And can be on uh, can be an food ordering app, or can be an timesheet app, can be an app which are internally used within the organization, whatever it is. Okay, if you see that there are a lot of forms that has been designed, that they would have taken a new blank screen and started designing it. There is no component, that they are doing everything as a single design. So if we click the play button here, it will be showing here. There will be some option to drag it. Okay. Oh yeah. Okay. Yeah, it goes here. So yeah, it goes here. Like this, I can create it. Okay. If we download some demos like this, then we can take that code even. Okay. That we can make use of it in our application. It's a kind of a gallery, and they are designing that gallery, and then they are binding the data. Okay. What's the data source? It's a kind of a local collection. So if I select that collection here, I can see that. Okay. So maybe on that collection will be loaded on the on start. Okay. It's over here. When the application is starting, they are loading something like this. Clear of call collect call data. It might be somewhere. Okay. So on visible. It might be somewhere that where they are collection. There's a gallery within another gallery. In this gallery, they are loading work progress data. This also that you can see that there are some records over here. They are not connecting to any data source, that they are having all the data locally and they are binding to the screens. Okay, this is one demo. And if you see here, this is kind of a leave application. If you run it, it should be like it should be a form that where the employee can fill that leaves. The person can see that leave data over here. It's also a sample. Not sure why it's not showing. So it should come here. Yeah. If you see here, now I can leave for 3 days, 5 days, something like that. And these data will be loading from the SharePoint. Okay. It can store those data over here. I'm going to put a back button over here. Navigate to screen 1. It should be a new form. In form of form 1. Okay, so it's not loading for some reason, but when we refresh that, we can store data from here. Okay, there'll be some option. Yeah, that's okay one. Okay, so this is how it works, that we can enter some data. This can be used as a leave application even, and we can store some data over here. Going back to the slide, there'll be other apps like model-driven apps. That this app is not most widely used. Okay, it will be is a kind of a default app where it can connect to the inbuilt dataverse. So we can create apps with the forms and other things which are available by default. So there'll be an app designer, same like this. Okay, using that you can design the pages and screens, all those things. You can play with the you can play with the dataverse tables over there. It's also a no-code solution and responsive by design. And we can use for showing charts, views. We can embed an Canvas app into a model-driven app. Those kind of things that you can do. The next one is a portal. Portal, as I said before, it's a kind of a website where you can do that Microsoft.com, like Credo Systemz.com, those kind of external public facing websites. Okay, So you can see over here that it will be kind of a dream viewer kind of look and feel, where you can directly edit the placeholders, content, pages, all those things. So you can change that contents, all those things. Okay, it will be WYS. It's what you see is what you get. It's a kind of designer. What you just design on the pages, that will be directly over here, directly over to the UI, which the users will be seeing. Resadharani is a famous Microsoft MVP that he'll be guiding us on a lot of things. Okay, so he has done a lot of Microsoft PPT one that which we are making use of it. Okay, so like that on the portal that we can have images, whatever we want, that we can design and we can make it over here. On the portal, we can have a Canvas app or model-driven app also embedded. When to use portal? Portal is like when we want a responsive design, when we want an when we want to build easily, we can build an portal within 1 hour even. That we can publish it directly to a domain, which we cannot do on the HTML, which we have to code, and we should have some coding knowledge. Yeah, this is a future comparison. You know that Canvas app, like it can be compatible to mobile. Then it has some other features like that. Okay, licensing cost, there'll be difference on licensing cost, and what is more widely used in the market. Those kind of differences will be. As far I know that Canvas app is the most widely used in the market. External access, that if it is a portal, then the guest can access without license even. It will be a public facing, okay, that kind of thing. If it is a Canvas app like that, then we should have an Office Outlook, Office 365 license, which we can make use of it. There will be some premium connectors even in Canvas app that need an extra what I can say, that need an extra we have to subscribe for extra money that to make use of it. Okay, yeah, that's what I have. Do you have any queries regarding the Power Apps, forms or screens, formulas? Power Automate. We haven't gone much on Power Automate and Power BI. Those things are itself a separate thing. Okay, even Power Apps has a lot of things that we cannot cover on 30 or 40 minutes, 45 minutes. Okay, I just can work that how it looks and how you can work with it. Do you have any questions? Yes, you can raise your hands. Yeah.
Yeah, just one question. Suppose if the users doesn't have a 365 license, take an example, external parties, right? Because if you wanted to send it for the clients, uh, suppose if they do not have an access to the 365, then they can't access the Power App portal.
No, portal is something like which we can do in anonymous website like that. Okay, that we can and that they can access. If it is a Power Apps, something like a Power Apps tablet or app kind of thing, they should have an Office 365 license. Okay, because that's how that Power Apps they can log in and make use of that app.
No, one if I publish the portal, right? So when it becomes a web portal, that web portal, is it something they can able to view it without even license, or even just for the display they still need a license?
No, if it is a portal, they can view it without license. So if it is a kind of a Power Apps tablet or Power Apps mobile app, which as we do now, right now, right? those kind of things that they should need and login first. If you are seeing on iOS or Android Play Store, that you will get an Power Apps app. On the first thing that it will ask for the login only. After login only, you can see something over there. Even the existing apps.
Yeah, generally the login, right? Even if they do it gives a free trial for maybe 30 days or 60 days. Until the 30, 60 days, it's fine. Even for Power BI, we're facing this challenge. So suppose if you have been sharing to the external persons, they can download the free trial. Until the free trial, they can able to view it. After that, it looking for the license. So then the report what we developed, that they cannot able to see it without obtaining the Power BI license. Similarly, the Power Apps also have the same sort of an uh, condition, or is it something works differently?
Uh, no, these are kind of intranet applications. Okay, this is not kind of an internet. Like within the organization, if you see some bigger organization within the organization, like what they are using out, right? In that case, that everyone in the organization, if you look on Excel or Cognizant or Microsoft or Yahoo, within the company there will be 50,000 or 1 lakh people like that. Everyone will be having a login. Okay,
Yeah.
and yeah, they should have a license. That's so that because if they are using as an end user, that there will not be much restriction. Okay, like if we are using some power connectors like that, premium connectors like that, okay, then that user should have that particular license. Then only they can use it. That
Okay.
organization has to spend money.
Yeah. See, for me, internal users, no questions, because everybody will be having an access. If it's part of the organization, everybody will be having access. But suppose if I've been sending it for the external, if I'm sending the link to the external party, take an example to my customer, they are part of a different organization. So, do they also need to have the license to view my page, or do they not need not to have a license for 365?
No, they should have that. They should have a license on the 365.
Okay.
Yeah, I having one more question. Like, what kind of license they need? Like inside the organization, we have like what's a per user concept, or it will be like for any for the organization they have some separate licensing. So how it will be like cost and how, because I just need to know, like normally if we have 365 we can able to do it in what's a Power Apps, Power Automate, and a SharePoint we can integrate, and we can do it. If I need to do any development work, then what kind of license I need?
There'll be different licenses if you see that E3, E1 like that. Okay, that in that even if we want some premium connectors also, that normally for on the Office 365 level there'll be E3, E1 kind of license that Power Apps by default. All will be including Power Apps by default. But if we want to have some premium connectors, that will be an add-on license which we have to take it from the Microsoft.
Okay. Then why we need a Power Platform license? Some of the what's say if I'm doing any development work, then they are asking to like work on the Power Platform license. So what is the difference between Microsoft license and Power Platform license? What is the why they are asking to get it?
No, it will be a kind of add-on. So there were some licenses which were Office 35 is available for a long time. Okay, like if E1 license like that, it might not have an Power Apps connected. Okay, in that you should have an Power Apps license plus like that. Okay, if you go on to E3, it will be having by default with the Power Apps license. Okay, that will be making that thing that you can make use of Power Apps itself.
Okay. If I want to connect with the Azure, like Azure Data Explorer or something, then what inside the standard license itself we have, or premium license we need to like choose on,
No,
like
like if you already have an Office 365 E1 or E3, something like that, okay.
okay.
Azure, as someone said now, like Azure will be having a separate license. It will be 30 days free only. Okay, with that Office 365 E3. After that, again you have to pay for Azure license.
Okay, okay. Thank you.
Any other question?
Regarding the Dataverse, right? Because this is one other database which I've recently come across. So, do we need again a separate licensing fee for Dataverse, or is it something come as part of the 365 E3?
Yeah, 365 E3 itself that it will come with the Dataverse license. Okay, there will be connectors only. It will be a separate one. In Office 365 also there will be some license that if you are taking only 365 rupees or 400 rupees per month like that, okay, there will be some cost effective license. In that, those things will not come. Okay, so that we have to add on license like that. If you're taking E3 like that, that will come with that. If you see on your licensing model, they will be showing that Dataverse, those things will be included.
Okay. And in your presentation, you also showed there was a Teams Dataverse, right? So what is that actually that we talking about the Teams Dataverse? Is there anything related to the Microsoft Teams or?
Yeah, it's related to Microsoft Teams only. That on the Teams itself, we can have a separate tab. We can have some applications over there. We can have timesheet, organization timesheet over there. We can have some dashboards over there. That will be a part of a team that we can create a team, virtual agent in team that kind of EVA something that some organizations are using that will automatically respond to your questions. That kind of applications can be deployed on Teams, that you can make use of it in Teams itself. Microsoft Teams.
Okay, clear. Okay.
Any more questions? Merlin?
Hello.
Yeah, I think no more question.
Yeah. Okay. Okay. Thank you for sharing your knowledge, Mr. Ganesh. Thank you everyone for joining the session today. Please provide your valuable feedback to get the participation certificate. If you guys are not joined in the WhatsApp group, please join to get the webinar recordings and PPTs. If you want any details related to course or your career development, please contact us. Our details are shared. Make use of it. We have planning to do series of webinar in the upcoming days. So stay connected and stay tuned for next update. Thank you all. Have a good day.
Thank you very much. Thanks a lot.
Thank you.
Thank you all.